Xpress Outdoors has a really cool segment that we call Beyond the Boat. This personal, sit-down, one-on-one conversation with our featured guests allows us to explore the other side of who this person really is. We get a chance to delve into their personal and professional life, why they got into the outdoor industry, and what makes them who they are today. Join us as we get a bit beyond the boat with Xpress Outdoors.
Working in this industry and being able to provide for your family. We're sponsors of all three tours. We're sponsor of MLF, we're sponsor of Bass, and we're a sponsor of FLW. We see them all as a positive. I think it's just going to open up more opportunities. There's going to be some that disagree with it, and I get that, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but as far as me, I think it's a good thing.
You made the point earlier too. You know, we promote these guys and we put a lot of effort into the products that they promote, and we put them on pedestals. But at the end of the day, it's not about them. It's about the fan and the bass fans. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. And look, I love these guys. They're most all of them are really good friends of mine. There's some that I talk to every week, and we mess around and have a good time. Where they are valuable is in R&D and coming up with ideas on ways to catch fish. I will tell you this, any name that has Kevin's name on it, has a KVD on it, I promise you he's been very involved in the development of that. That being said, and I've said this to several other people, no one wakes up and goes, I want to be a professional fisherman. I'm going to start fishing because I want to be. People go out and enjoy the outdoors because they enjoy the outdoors. And we should never lose sight of that person who wants to just go and enjoy the outdoors, whether it be fishing or hunting or whatever it is. We need to continue to look towards them and make things that are affordable, that are quality, but most of all are going to be effective.
You know, high school bass fishing is really blowing up across the country right now, and so there's a lot of kids out there that are thinking that they may want a job in the outdoor industry. And of course, everybody's striving to be a professional fisherman, but there are a lot more opportunities beyond that to still be involved. If you had a kid asking for advice right now, what would you say to that kid on how to get involved in the outdoor industry and make a career of it?
Well, first and foremost, get your education. Hands down, get your ed. Now, not everybody's meant for college, but that being said, if you can go to college and get a college degree, please do so. There's not enough education to me. I don't think you ever stop learning, but as far as get that education, because what that education does is that's what gives you your opportunities to get into the doors, and that to be able people look at you and say, you know what, they've sat down and they've taken the time and they've held the course and they've achieved that degree. So get your education. Second, don't come in thinking because you want to be a professional fisherman that you just start asking for sponsorships. It's baby steps. Start working. Offer to, call and say, hey, can I get some decals? I love your baits. I just want to have a decal on my card that says that I like fishing these baits. Start entering small tournaments. Don't put a lot of money into it. Find something that's inexpensive. Get in small tournaments. See how you compare. But always, and we were doing a tip earlier this week about throwing a bait caster, and the comment was you'll never do well at anything if you don't practice. So practice fishing. When you go out, try to pick up little things as you're along. Why does a bass bite a jig? Why are they doing what they're doing? Like when we were red fishing, watching for signs, looking for where the fish were and where they were going, knowing where to throw, knowing what to do. Education there is also very important.
That's a really good point, and I think that kind of reiterates what the whole purpose of Xpress Outdoors is about. And it's really cool that the guys with Xpress Outdoors have broken it down into the X's and O's, and that's kind of cool how that fits. Because I had made the comment one time before that when I think of X's and O's, I envision a football locker room with the coach and the team sitting around, and he's writing the X's and O's and executing a play. And so I think that mentality and that actually applies to the world of fishing and hunting and the outdoors in general. And so you got to have a game plan, and what you just kind of laid out for a young person coming up is a great game plan to move forward with in life as well as your career.
Absolutely. Have a game plan. Understand what it is that you're talking about. Understand why do you use a spinning rod, a spinning reel and rod, and in what situation you use that. Why is it effective? Why do you need to use a bait casting rod? There's so many things out there. Understanding why do I use monofilament line versus fluorocarbon line or braid, or why do I use braid tied to fluorocarbon? Understanding the process. Talk to people. There is so much information available out there. If someone wants to learn, they can learn.
So the Lews Strike King Hunter Specialty merger is about only a year old now. Where do you see this going, your company as well as the whole outdoor industry as a whole? Where do you see the future of our industry?
Well, I think our future is in our young. I think we've got to do a better job as an industry, and we talked about this earlier, getting kids off their phones, getting them outside, getting them experience. Look, everybody may not like it, but at least give it a shot. But we've got to look at ways of getting young people involved, getting women involved, getting everyone an opportunity to at least go out and try it. Because I think if we don't preserve our future, we're not going to have a future. We've got to invest in them and get them out there and get them trying.
We all provide either whether it's a service like Grow Savant or a product like you or Express Boats. We all do things that help facilitate the outdoor experience, and that's really a cool thing. And ultimately, that fuels the passion of what someone that's wanting to enjoy the outdoors could do. And you talked about seeing a sunrise. It's not always about catching and killing, and I always say that here at Grow Savant. And now that you've got to experience Grow Savant, there's so many more things that go in it. It's not about that picture holding that big redfish or that big alligator
Right.
that we caught. When you got up in the morning and you got to see the sunrise come up and the incredible clouds that are blowing up off the Gulf from the rain and the sun hitting that. We had a rainbow this morning. The sounds of the morning, the birds, there's so many things. Tell me a little bit about the experience we're not promoting Grow Savant here, but what did you experience in the outdoors as you were here at Grow Savant? It's a tremendous experience.
Absolutely is. And to me, one of the things that I always try to do is that whether I'm running a camera, in front of a camera or whatever, if as I'm running an event, I try to slow down and use the expression, smell the roses. This morning as we were headed out to go red fishing, I was sitting back and smelling the salt in the air and smelling the marsh and use your senses. I mean, the experience of coming here, and I could have missed every gator that I shot. I could have missed every hook set, never caught a fish, and I still would have had an incredible time here because of the experience of getting to go out, getting to be with friends, getting to spend time with like-minded people, and just enjoying God's green earth. Because it is, if you will take the time to look and to see and to smell and to touch and to feel. That's the first time I've ever, as many alligators as I've seen, that's the first time I've ever been able to run my hands down the back of one and actually feel it and feel what it felt like. It's just the experience of being able to participate in that it's priceless.
And whether it's Grow Savant or anywhere else in the country, there's always a local flavor. There's always local knowledge, and so to get to experience the different things that occur in the world it's a value. I mean, that's a really cool thing to experience. So
Absolutely, and let me tell you, Grow Savant, you guys have done an incredible job here in maintaining this property, your efforts that you put forth for conservation, for this marsh, for opportunities for people. It doesn't go unnoticed, because anytime you talk to someone, and I told some people that I was headed down to Gros Savon, and they're like, oh, that's a bucket list place. That's a place I would love to go sometime. It has the reputation of providing experiences for people that are just they're unbelievable, and it's whether you lay that hook into a bass or a redfish or not, if you shoot a teal or not, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that getting to come down here, it's a first class. It's a 5-star destination resort in my opinion. To come and enjoy a meal, top meals, top accommodations, but to get to come and just the experience of being here is worth any kind of price that you could pay.
Well, we certainly appreciate the comments, and that's another reason why we're proud to be partnered with Lews and Strike King, because that just, your products as well as Xpress Boats only complements and helps facilitate the experience. So we appreciate you guys.
Well, thank you. We love being associated not only with Gros Savon, but with Xpress Boats, because I have some very good friends there, and I'm going to tell you, the product that they put out, it's second to none, and it's something that it's in the realm of what most people can afford. They have an option for everybody, and one of the boats that we were in, when we were gator hunting, that boat could be used for anything. I wouldn't be scared to run it across Pickwick or Kentucky Lake in 2 or 3 foot swells and still go out and fish. Plenty of room, stable. You could put a cover on it and duck hunt out of it. You could gator hunt out. There's, just another example, and they're all tools, but it's a tool that's well built. It's a tool that's versatile, and it's a tool that's affordable.
Yeah, I like to refer to them as crossover boats. You can do just about any activity. You're not tied down to just something that you can only bass fish in. So they're great boats.
And there's a little throwback to, that's what I learned how to fish out of, was an aluminum boat.
That's about where we all go back. We all go back to our roots, where it was simple, where we, like you said, we started out catching brim, most of us. So it's really cool to see where we've come from, and it's cool to see where we're going.
Absolutely.
We talked about earlier that it's not about catching and killing always, and experience, and you mentioned the sunrises and stuff. One of the things that we've done here at Gros Savon that we think is pretty cool is we've begun to offer an eco tour package. There's a lot of people out there that really don't care about hunting and fishing, but there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to enjoy the outdoors. And so there's so many opportunities here at Gros Savon to view wildlife and all the nature that's out here. And so we actually do a package for somebody that just wants to go out and enjoy the outdoors, whether it be bird watching, photography. There's some great opportunities here. So, the kids that want to experience something, if you're not from the area, if you're a tourist, we can show you all kind of cool stuff in the outdoors. So that's been a really neat package for us. And for you, is you've got a family, and if you were to come down here, your wife's probably not a big fisherman. And so that'd be something that the family can enjoy while you may be out fishing or something. She can go out and enjoy the outdoors and just see what Southwest Louisiana is all about.
Oh, I totally agree. I think that's a great idea, in the fact that, because you're right, there's some who they just don't want to, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to what they enjoy to do, but that's not to say that they shouldn't get out there and enjoy the earth and what God has created. And what a great way to get them out there. The birds that inhabit the marshes of South Louisiana, some of the most beautiful birds on this earth. The roseate spoonbill, one of the prettiest birds that I've ever seen. We were talking earlier, I asked you, do they have the wood stork here?
Yep.
Not necessarily the prettiest bird, but everybody should see a wood stork, because in its own way it's pretty too. And just the herons and the egrets and all the redfish. We saw a huge alligator gar today in one of the areas that we're in. I know you get bull sharks up in the area. It's a way to see sharks. There's redfish. There's trout. There's just there's so many things that you can see. The gators. Go and look at. There's going to pop up, and I know that's one of the cool things that kids love because they're always like, I want to see a gator. And there's plenty of opportunities by doing that eco tour, and I think that's an incredible idea.
You know, Bill Lowen, Xpress's pro, he's actually been doing some of these Xpress Outdoors with me as the co-host, and he and I's had a couple of opportunities to fish, once on Kentucky Lake, and he's now been to Gros Savant a couple times, and he's a good friend of yours too, and I think you guys have visited a lot and stuff. What has Bill Lowen had to say to you about all his experiences with Xpress and Gros Savant?
Oh, absolutely. Bill and I are very good friends. I love his family, Jennifer and Fisher and Nevaeh. What a great family. And Bill and I have sat down and talked about his new boat. And, you know, he ran a fiberglass boat for 13 years, and he's a bigger fan of this aluminum boat than he is of a fiberglass. And nothing to say wrong about that. It's just he loves an aluminum boat. And these boats, the performance, the comforts, there's no drop off from going from a fiberglass boat to these new aluminum boats. They run every bit as fast as some of these other fiberglass boats. The comforts are there. There's places you can get in an aluminum boat you can't get with a fiberglass boat. So there's places, if you want to just kind of skinny up into that skinny area where you might, and Bill loves to throw a swim jig and he loves to throw a jig, and you know, sometimes you need to get up in them areas, and when that gives you an advantage over the others, when you can go on up in there and they can't. So there's not a drop off whatsoever going to an aluminum boat, especially one of these Xpress boats, because that boat it's built solid, it's steady, it's fast. It'll do everything that you need to do and more, especially for someone who makes his living out on the bass circuits.
You know, in my personal experience with that is when you talk about aluminum boat on tour, the first thing you hear is it's not going to handle the rough water. But I personally got a chance to fish with Bill on Kentucky Lake, and Kentucky Lake gets pretty rough.
Oh, Kentucky Lake can get real. That lake runs north and south, and I swear there's never an east-west wind on that lake. It's either a north-south wind, and when it does, it gets cranky. And look, I can just imagine how good that ride would be.
It wasn't as rough as Kentucky Lake can be, but it was rough that day, and we got on top of that stuff, and we didn't look back. And in talking to Bill, he's felt like he hasn't sacrificed anything with rough water.
Absolutely, I believe that there's not a sacrifice. I think you may actually be safer because you've got higher size and you're a little bit further down in there. So I'm a big fan of Xpress boats, and I've always joked that my son plays baseball and I coach him. But once we're done with baseball, my next purchase is going to be an Xpress boat, and I'm going to get in there, and that's what I want to fish out of.
And me personally, I've always liked the look of a fiberglass boat. I've always dreamed of having one. I've never owned a fiberglass bass boat, but I was just up at the dealers meeting here about a month ago, and the new X21 Pro, the way the console is designed and this new color scheme they've got, if you looked at that boat sitting on a trailer, it looks like it needs to look. It is a bass boat, and it's bad. I love it. I'd love to own one. I'm looking forward to hopefully one day having one. So Mark, it's really been a pleasure these last couple of days to get to spend some time with you in the boat, and looking forward to do some many more. So hope you enjoyed your experience here at Gros Savant, and we really enjoyed visiting with you and doing this Beyond the Boat series. And you know, the purpose of Beyond the Boat is to get to know the people behind the scenes. And so, you know, getting to spend some time with you and sitting here and doing this interview has been a great insight into Strike King Lure Company and Lews and Hunter Specialties, and we've really enjoyed having you here, and so we hope you continue to come back and enjoy Gros Savant.
Well, Doug, I appreciate being invited here. Like I said earlier, it's been a dream of mine to be able to come down here and to come down and spend time with you and with the people from Xpress Boats, and this truly is a special place. You know, I don't look at myself as special. I just look at myself as someone who I just want to make a positive difference in our industry. God has blessed me and put me in situations, and I'm truly thankful for that. And have a great family who's behind me, allows me to do this. So it's been an honor to be here, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my stay.
Privilege likewise. Glad to have you. You're welcome anytime.